Michael, obviously no midweek game for you this week. How much time have you been able to get out on the training field?
Not a lot really. There were quite a few bumps and bruises from the weekend off the back of a tough week. So we trained Monday. Lads had Tuesday, Wednesday off, and we'll start preparing properly on today for Saturday.
So have you been able to get the running repairs done? Because obviously there were absentees in particular in midfield last Saturday.
Yeah, we think they'll all. There's a couple who took knocks, so we'll have to wait and see where they are. But the real work that's been done is the analysis sort of side of it from the weekend. That was the classroom work on Monday. Downtime, lads that are injured obviously been in, but the other lads just to catch up a little bit with the rest and recovery, and then we go again.
Was there any more to say in the analysis than usual, purely because our commentators noticed you were jumping up and down a little bit more than usual in the first half last Saturday?
Not really, no. Learned from the things we did well and learned from the things we didn't do so well. So the frustration in the first half was the more out of possession stuff than the in possession stuff. The pitch was difficult, but then second half, once we do what we know what we can do and what the players get asked to do, and then they deliver what they do, it looks like the second half on Saturday. So that was it was a good solid away from home performance once the goal went in.
And in terms of how the players turn that round as a performance, how much of that is them problem solving and how much of that is you telling them how to solve it?
I don't think it's problem solving at all. I think they know the solution, it's just they weren't doing it. So it's just a few reminders. Sometimes it's just 5 yards here and there, and that's all it is. I thought it was quite flat for the first 25 minutes, and what you're worried about as a manager, you don't want a flat performance to turn into conceding a goal and then not getting back in it, which happened at Scunthorpe. Because of where we are, we can't afford to be giving up games, giving up halves, and that was the frustration from my point of view. Is that not that I didn't think we weren't playing particularly well. It's just that I thought I know what we can do, and luckily we managed to get our noses ahead, and then off the back of that, looked really solid and organised and hit them on the counter.
And this run of games that you're on, not just the run of results, but also the run of opponents against another team fairly close to you in the table. Are the players now used to the pressure that comes with that and then doing the right things that goes with it?
I think the pressure comes from within. We say it every week, and obviously I'm saying it to the same faces, but they do what we do. Doesn't matter where the opposition are, the points are the same value. So people have tried to dress it up, because I think going into this run we were 5th and the next 3 games were 6th, 7th and 8th. We've managed to fall the right side of 2 of them, but there's no more importance to this game than what there is to a team at the other end of the table. You know, we've been that team at the other end of the table last year, and we were fighting just as hard. So don't become complacent with points. They're hard to come by. So you've got to fight tooth and nail for every single one of them.
And does the FA Cup game against Port Vale serve as a reminder to emphasise that point?
I think it was a strange game to me. I thought we dominated the first half and they dominated the second half. I don't think anyone saw us conceding 3 goals in the second half, but they're a good team. Obviously Popey, they put 3 good balls in the box and he did what he does. I'm not sure whether he's available or not this weekend, but Mark Cullen's come in and done well. They have a real identity in the way that they play, so we know we're in for a good, tough game, because we've played them twice and not beat them.
And I suppose what it shows is once a team gets a break, they can make the most of that momentum within a game.
Yeah, it's important to score when you're on top. I felt that we needed to be 2 goals up for the dominance in the first half, and they scored 3 in their domination of the second half. The game at their place was like a basketball game. It was 2 teams properly going tooth and nail, going for it. It could have finished 2-1, 3-1 to either team, I felt. A draw was probably a fair result, I think. But even in the last minute, both teams are really going for the win. So it's a clash in style, as in formations, and it's who can impose themselves most on the game.
And does that contrast of styles, does that actually in some ways make that sort of entertaining game with lots of chances and sort of just ensure that it will be, perhaps a bit of a nail-biter?
It depends on the day. Obviously, we play against a 4-3-3 quite a lot. We have our way of playing at home. We normally have a number 10, and we'll try and hurt them and be aware of what they do. And the thing that we've managed to do over the last 12 months is manage to tweak certain things, that if teams try and do certain things, we'll try and counter that by again, it's only 5 yards here and there, different jobs for different people. But I think it should be a good game though. They'll be going flat out, they'll be looking to close the gap on us, no doubt. It has got tight, particularly the top 8. No, John's done a really. I think the two teams, we're probably the two teams that have surprised a few teams, most of the league this year, because we were scrapping at the other end of the table. So I think John's done a great job, along with Dave Kevin, who I know really well. He was the assistant manager at Burnley when I went up there, and Frank's in there actually. So I gave Frank a little bit of banter last week, but no, Frank's gone in, Frank Sinclair doing a bit of coaching, and he's a top man. Again, living in the hotel with John last year, it's like last week. I gave Jen all the credit because we were playing against Colchester, but Frank was just as important. You look at the career that he's had playing in Europe, and I think he's played 3 in the Premier League games. So it was another big influence on me because of where I'd come from, to where he'd come from playing in Europe, to where me playing from conference football. So again, helped me settle as much as anything else. So done a great job between them.
Finally, Michael, obviously you didn't play earlier this week, but other teams in and around that promotion battle did. How do you, as Cheltenham manager, sort of view that? Do you use it as a chance to do a bit of extra scouting, or do you just sort of purely focus on what Cheltenham are doing? Because it's a while before you play any of those sides again.
No, I was actually away with the Red Arrows this week, so I drove up, watched Stoke, Man United 23s, stayed overnight in Lincoln. I spent all day Tuesday with the Red Arrows, so something a little bit different. Then I took in Solihull, Harrogate, Hartlepool on Tuesday night. We had people at the games, but obviously going from Lincolnshire down to Swindon, Plymouth or Exeter was a bit of a trek. So it's I had a good day, learned quite a lot about different types of things, leadership, how to build a team, trust is quite important when you're flying a jet aeroplane 500 mile an hour straight at somebody else who's about to do that at the same time. So it was an enjoyable day.
Yeah, how can you sort of translate that into helping Cheltenham? Because obviously, you know, as you say, leadership is key.
It's how to build, how they work, how they analyse, how they get different people to do different things. There is ranks within it, but there isn't. You know, they're all the same. They're all as important as each other. There's no egos. They're just looking at different cultures. So it's something I'm interested in. It was luckily the LMA put it on. So they're the sort of things that really interest me.
Thank you. Good luck.
Cheers, Paul.
Yeah, Michael, I was going to ask how it came about. So it's an LMA event where football managers get a chance to go and have a look. Is that how?
Yeah, the LMA are great. They put on things a couple of times a month. So it's all CPD, just trying to get better, trying to learn. Quite a few people. I think there was 14 on the course. But they do different things. There was one last month where there was Gareth Southgate and Steve Holland put a clinic on at St George's Park on how to defend. So there's always there's lots and lots and lots all the time. So they are great, but football's very samey for me. I'm more interested in other sports, other cultures, how different people build teams and create, different mentalities and trust and have all those sorts of things and how they put that together. Because if we get it wrong tomorrow, we'll lose a game of Saturday, we'll lose a game of football. It's not the end of the world, but obviously at that sort of level, someone's dying, so there's lives at stake. So it is important, and it's a real interest to me.
Yeah, I think Red Arrows would be interesting for anyone, but you've got some family background in the RAF, haven't you, as well? Did that make it more interesting for you, or did you feel like you already knew a bit about it?
Well, I've watched them millions of times. It's obviously my dad did 50 years, including the years he did as a civvy. So it's a world I was brought up in. So driving into the RAF base, it brought back memories of just all the old Marine quarters and the old hangars and things. But that's not why I'm interested in it. It's we've had the Marines in here, delivering to the players, just trying to get the same message over from a different voice as much as anything.
Have you looked at any of the sports in particular and tried to apply that to your players?
Yeah, we've gone into rugby club before, hoping to go into Swansea Ospreys. That's right, isn't it? With Carl Hogg, who's a local man who's obviously there at the minute. So I've been into the RF Falcons, which is now a parachute display team. Again, similar sorts of things. Someone makes a mistake, it's slightly different to losing a game of football. So the two Marines lads, they were important as well, the big ones. So it's nothing groundbreaking. It's just something that interests me.
Sometimes after an long away trip, particularly giving the players Monday off, but you've got them in on Monday this week and then Tuesday and Wednesday off. What was the thinking behind that? Was that all with this Saturday in mind?
It was as much to do with the amount of knocks that we had. So get in, do your classroom work whilst it's still fairly fresh, and then give them 2 days off. Obviously, I was away all day Tuesday, but that had no relevance to what we did with the lads. So it was just whilst it was fresh, rather than getting them in off Monday, in Tuesday, off Wednesday. I think they'd benefited more from just having a couple of days down.
So Alex Adai, Jake Doyle-Hayes, Connor sort of missed out on Saturday, and you hoping to have them back. Luke Varney started the game, came off. How is he?
I don't think Reg will be fit. Like I said, he felt his hamstring. We think Connor and Jake will train today, so they were just a couple of knocks, so they should be fine. Alex, we're not quite so sure about. Ben Tozer took a knock on his ankle. We'll have to see. Hopefully he'll train today. So we're a lot healthier than what we were on Monday afternoon. I know that.
Was that the penalty shout though when he got injured, Toes?
It wasn't a shout. It was a penalty. But yes, that was the incident. Yeah.
The players have been told, time and time again, look, win the next game. What about you? Do you have to almost start planning for? I know you won't allow your focus to come away from the next game, but do you have to start thinking about decisions based on you don't know what division you're going to be in next season yet?
Not thought that far ahead. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Quite a few of the players are contracted, and the ones that aren't, everyone's got to put their agenda to one side now. The team's got, the focus has got to be on the team, and that's sincere, it's genuine. It has to be. We don't know what division we're going to be in, but that's the challenge. We've got to give ourselves that opportunity. Again, it's boring, but if you keep looking too far ahead, you forget what's in front of you. So the focus is the first half on Saturday.